Hello guys, what's going on? Welcome to Mbel-Techyz. So in this video, I really want to talk about Font Awesome. Font Awesome are basically some CSS icons that we use on our web page. So these are kind of icons that we use basically on our website, and it's actually adds, or should I say, it's beautifies our web page. Um, so in so many ways, and we have thousands of fonts, or we have thousands of icons that we can use. So we have a lot thousands. We have the bold icons, we have the solid icons, and we have the social media icons, which are the bold icons. So we have so many social media icons that we can use. We have so many, so we can just implement that, or we can use our font awesome, or we can use our icons in our web page to just like to make our web page look more standard. And again, another thing I want to talk about is how to import our local fonts into our web browser. So local fonts are just basically some fonts on our files. So when you're coding, so if you declare any kind of font, or let's say you declare any kind of font family in your CSS. So when you try to deploy, or when you try to host your web page or your file or your document, it's possible that you might have your fonts replaced with another font by your web browser. So when you install, or when you import your fonts locally, and you push or you host your fonts together with your files together, together with your files, you will have your fonts. It won't be replaced. It will just be as the way you want it to be. All right, so let's just get into it. Let's start with Font Awesome first. I'll take us on how to download and install Font Awesome. So let's just go into our browser and pick and search for. Just come to your browser, so, and type download Font Awesome. All right, okay. So let me check my internet. All right, so just come to this first web page over here, and click on it. All right, so we have the Font Awesome website, or should I call it the web page over here, where you can download your Font Awesome file. And this Font Awesome, the latest version for this Font Awesome is version 6, and I guess and it's actually the version 6 I'm actually using. So just come over here and make sure if it's on version 5, click on change it to version 6. And what you are downloading is for the web. You are not downloading for the desktop. You are downloading for the web. So we need the CSS, or we need the Font Awesome CSS file for the web, not for the desktop. So, and another thing you want to do is to click on free for web. So when you click on free for web, it's just going to start downloading. I don't have to download it because I have it downloaded already. So when you just click on this free for web, it should start downloading. So when you finish downloading, you just have to find it in your download folder. So you can just have it somewhere around your download folder, maybe as the latest. So you should have something like this. So we should just have something like this. So you just have to extract it out from your zip folder. So I have the extracted folder here, which is what I have on my desktop over here. So this is the extracted folder, and I have a folder here which says real. This folder is actually empty, so I'll be using this folder to implement my CSS Font Awesome and importing my local fonts. All right, so let me just bring this Font Awesome into my real folder, and open it with my VS Code. All right, so I have my index file over here. So I'll just have to my index.html file. Then I have to call my document type and change this title to let me just change it to implementing Font Awesome / importing local fonts. All right, so let me just collapse this guy. Now, what I really want to talk about again is that we have to import our font awesome file into our CSS or into our HTML file. So as we can see, we have our font awesome folder over here. So we need the CSS file. So the CSS file is what we need. All right, so let me just link it. So I'm going to use my link tag, then I'll just do dot forward slash font awesome, then I'll go into font awesome underscore css, then I'll pick all.css, then so let me just open this with my live server and let's see. Let's bring our browser up. All right, so our browser is up. Let me just stack it over here. So all right, so let me just check if it's working. All right, so our live server is active. All right, so to implement our css, just let me go back to my cheat sheet and select, or let me just call in any kind of item or any kind of icon over here. So let me just pick the ambulance over here. So let me just copy this ambulance. Or so to declare that font awesome, actually they use class name. So you use class name to declare your font awesome. So let me just start with a tag of span. So my span tag, so in my span tag I will give it a class of fa space fa dash ambulance. So it should be up. Now you can see over here we have our ambulance icon. So let me just make it bigger. So we have our ambulance. So let me pick another icon. I'll use my span tag. So I'll give it a class name of let me have a book. Okay, so it should be fa space fa dash book. All right, so we have, let me just get rid of this end. So we have our book over here. So we have another thing. We have so many that we can use. We have thousands of icons. So let me give it a class name. So I'll fa dash fa book dash open. So book that is open. All right, so we have this. So let me add another span class name of fa space fa dash bike or bicycle. Right, so we have this bicycle item over here. So we have a lot. Let me just duplicate this and start changing some. Let me use cookie. All right, we have cookie. This is it. We have cookie. We have a car. Is it car or motor? Right, so we have the car over here. We have let me just check for my cheat sheet and pick. We have the Aquay, we have angry. Let me just copy this guy and come over here and paste it. We have angry. So just have to find the cheat sheet and download, then you can just keep using the cheat sheets. Right, so we also have our envelope. This envelope it's just like our chat box or our Gmail. So it's actually what we use for the Gmail. So this envelope, we have the envelope and let me pick another. We have nav icon, which is what we'll be using, or what some programmers have been using for their navigation click. All right, so we have thousands of fonts awesome that we can use. So let's just go through the social media icons, because the social media icons are actually different from the solid icons. So to use the social media icon, let me just call in my span tag or let me do dot span. So in my span tag, I'll give it a class name. Then for instance, if I want to use my Facebook, I'll just start with FAB space FA dash Facebook. So it's going to so we have our Facebook icon over here. So let me just duplicate and change. This is WhatsApp. We have WhatsApp. So we have Instagram. We have Instagram. We have Twitter, and we have Google. All right, so we have a lot of social media icons that we can use. Again, we have Amazon, right? So for the social media icons, you are going to be using your FAB. So for the solid icons, you can just leave it as a FA or FAS. So but if you are declaring for your social media icons, you should try and use FAB. So guys, if you just want the font awesome cheat sheet, you can just go over to your browser and search for it. There are a lot of cheat sheets that you can use, that you can download, and you can just use that as a reference. All right, so guys, we can also style our CSS, or sorry, we can style our font awesome using the class name. So I'm going to use my style tag. So I'm using the internal CSS. So I'll just do .fa, then I'll give it a curly bracket, then I can just give it color of red. All right, so the ones with the FA are actually are the ones with the red. So if I want the first one, I can just say colon, or just say the first, or so I can just call it using my font child using the pseudo class. So if I want the first one, I can just say FA colon nth dash child, then I'll say number 1. So it's going to change. So for the second one, I can just do .fa colon nth child, then I'll change this to 2, then open my curly bracket and give it color blue. Right, so you can just keep doing that. You can see the color is changing. All right, so that's for the font awesome. Let's get into the local font, how we can import local font into our web browser. And so what I just want us to do is just to bring in our font file, and then declare it. So when we are hosting together, it's just going to host, the font will be there. It won't be replaced with another font by your web browser. So in case you want to do that, so let's just go over to my Explorer and find some fonts. I have some fonts in my desktop. Just get rid of this guy. So all right, my font. So this font, I have this font called Mbel. So let me just copy this Mbel, and bring it to my real file, and paste it over here. So when I go over to my code and check for the, so I have this Mbel font file. So basically what we always do is just to let me have a text here. Let me just say H2 and say hello there. All right, so I have this hello there. In a case whereby I host, okay, just let me give it some default fonts family. So I can just say H2 in my CSS, H2, and give it font family of serif. Okay, is that the default is serif. I can change it to Calibri. So I can use Calibri. So you can see that the fonts are changing. If I use area, I can use area. So there's cursive. All right, so now when you're trying to host this, if you just use this font family default, it might actually just be it might be applying on your web page, your private, your local web page or your live server is just going to work perfectly. But immediately you host your website, it might be replaced with another font on your from your web browser or on your web browser. So in order to avoid that, in order to use your preferred fonts that you have, so like me now, I have Ambali installed on my system, so I can just use Ambali. So when I use this Ambali, it's just going to work perfectly. But when I host it like this, it might actually be replaced with the default one, which might be serif or sans serif or Times New Roman, because the web browser can't find something called Ambali. So in order to make or to have this kind of fonts when I host my web page or when I host my file, so I just need to do something called at font face. So let me just get rid of this for now. So you need at font face, and when you're trying to use your at font face, you actually use it at the top of your CSS file. All right, so you use something called at font face. So these are font face. The first one the first property you have is your family, the font family, and the second one is the URL. This URL is pointing to the location of where your font is. So what I'm just going to use, this font family is just like the naming. I can change it, I can give it any name I want. So I can just say my fonts. So this is just any name, so you just have to locate, now you have to locate the font. So I'm just going to use dot forward slash. So I have my Ambali. So anytime I want to use this Ambali font, I'll just call the font family using my fonts, which is this guy that I gave to it, my font. So it's just going to find what is called my font. All right, so you can see it's actually working. So when I host my file together like this, or it's just going to work perfectly. I won't have my font, the font won't be replaced with any other fonts. So this is just the best way to do it. And in a case if you have many fonts to use, you just keep using at font face, then you give it the font family name you want to use, and you locate the URL perfectly. Alright guys, that's that for this video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. So thanks for watching. I hope you subscribe to this channel. If this is the first time you are watching this, click on the notification bell to get notified anytime I drop a new video. Thank you guys, I love you. See you in the next video.